Hi, now this following video, it's about the alignment tool which I have made for the Seep point motor. Now I'll explain the parts of the tool and how they work together, and then I will show you how you can use the tool on your layout to make the job of fitting the point motor a much simpler and less onerous task, with particular regard to the alignment, which has always been a big problem with the Seep point motor. Right, here are the two components that make up the tool then. Let's look at this bit first. This is just a piece of aluminium, 6mm thick, with a 1.4mm diameter piano wire inserted into it. It's a good tight fit and it won't come out very easily. It's square to the base, which is very important, as you can see, and square that way. So, pretty simple bit of kit that. Let's have a look at the other piece. This is made of mild steel, and there's two pins fitted into the end and a hole in the centre. Now the two pins are made of silver steel, and they've been machined to a sharp point in the lathe. As you can probably see there, they've got a sharp point on them, and they are a tight, in fact they're an interference fit into the mild steel, so they won't come out in a hurry. Now the distance between these two pins is exactly the same as the distance between the holes in the actual point motor itself. The hole here is exactly midway between the two pins and has a 1.5mm hole in it with a little lead-in. Now the lead-in, the purpose of the lead-in is so that the actual silver steel in the piano wire in the centralizing piece can easily find its way into the hole like so. Okay then, what we want to do is to fit the point motor to the actual point. This is the point we're going to fit it to. It's a Pico Streamline code 55 large radius electrofrog point, and as you can see I have fitted it to a piece of plywood, and the other side there's a 10mm hole to allow the point to operate, and as yet there are no markings on the back of the plywood. Okay, I'll shove it back in the vise, and for demonstration purposes we can assume that this is the baseboard. So the first thing we do, we'll bring the camera in so you can see it. First thing we want to do is fit the packing pieces to the switch rails. So I'll just do that now. What I'm using is not silver steel, piano wire, 1.4 diameter, which is 17 gauge piano wire. And that just fits nicely in between the two switch rails and holds them in a central position. Some points are a bit bigger than that, but they're all around about 1.5mm diameter. You can use 16 by 0.2 wire for code 100 medium radius. I've tried that and that's perfect size for that. So that's quite a convenient thing to do. Okay, so there you go. That's the packing pieces in. I'll take the camera back now. Now, the next thing to do is to get the centralizing piece here and put it into the hole in the tie bar, like so. Important thing now is to make sure that doesn't move once before you use the other hole locating, the fixing hole locator. So what we do is we get a piece of heavy weight. I've picked up this old pulley from lying about in the workshop, and that does nicely. Just hold it in the top like that. That holds it steady. Next thing we need to do is to get our fixing hole locator, and before we use it, a good tip is to use some marking, a permanent ink marker, and mark the pins with the ink. And the reason for this is so that you can still see that, so that when you press it into the plywood, it leaves a mark that you can see, because you're under the baseboard, it's dark under there, the plywood is a light colour, so if you have that blackened like that, that makes it easier to see. Now, it doesn't have to be wet paint, the pen can dry and it will still work. So far it's been pretty easy. We've been working from the top. We're now going underneath. Well, imagine we're going underneath the baseboard. I'll bend down, I'll pretend I'm working in the baseboard, so I'm underneath. Under pause. Here we go. How do I find it? Right. Okay, I found it all right away, you see, because that little wee lead in helps. Now, what we want to do is to make sure before you push it up to the baseboard that it is orientated properly relative to the point. So remember, you just have to remember where your point is. It's going that way, so the actual point motor will go at right angles to it. So what I'm going to do now, I've got it pushed up, pushing it up, I've held it up, I'm going to push it really hard. Use your thumbs to push it in, and give it a good wiggle about like that. That should do it. Now, you can see that that is held in by itself. Now I'm going to take the weight off. Oh, I can take this off as well. Take the center up. I pushed it in that hard. It doesn't want to come out now. There we go. I didn't know my own strength there. That's it. That's it. Come out. I'll take the centralising piece out. I'll take the pins out. Still a magnet to pull out the pins. Right, so that's it all ready now. There you go. There's your marks for the actual screws to go in. And it's simple as that. Once you've got these holes there, just the screws will follow that indentation. It's no bother at all. So what I'll do is I'll just turn it upside down. I'm going to do it the easy way. I'm going to turn the whole layout upside down like this. And now I'm going to get the point here, point motor rather. Put it in like so. It's all wired up. Hopefully I'm going to show you it working. Got a screw somewhere. Screw here. Now this is a wee bit boring, so what I'll do is probably get the camera to fast forward this, because I don't want any of you guys to fall asleep. So fast forward. So, yeah. That's it in, nice and secure. So we'll put some power on now to see if it's going to work. Right. There you go. I'll bring the camera in, let you see it. Got two LEDs showing that it's actually working the accessory switch, which is an important thing.